His actions speak louder than his words. A man might not always tell you how much he cares about you. He might not be the type to spill his heart out in words, but if you pay attention, his actions will reveal the truth. See, love isn't just about saying, "I love you." It's about showing it day in and day out. When a man makes you his weakness, you'll see it in the way he shows up for you, not just in what he says to you. Words can be rehearsed, but actions, they come from the soul. When you're his weakness, he will make time for you even in the middle of chaos. He may be exhausted, he may be juggling work, family, and personal struggles, but somehow you are always on his priority list. If he's canceling plans with others, but rearranging his whole schedule just to spend an hour with you, that's not coincidence, that's proof. You'll notice he pays attention to the smallest details about you. Maybe you once mentioned that you like your coffee a certain way, and the next time you meet, he brings it to you without asking. That's not just thoughtfulness, that's love moving through action. A man's heart will speak through his habits, and when you're his weakness, he will never take those little details for granted. Even in public, you'll see it. The way he looks at you when you're not looking, the way his hand naturally finds yours, the way he stands just a little closer to you in a crowded room. These aren't random gestures. They're instinctive behaviors that say, "I can't help but protect and claim what's mine." Pay close attention to how he treats you when nobody's watching. Does he treat you with kindness when there's no applause, no witnesses, no social media posts to validate it? That's where you'll see the truth. His actions behind closed doors reveal the depth of his feelings. A man might say he loves you, but a man whose actions constantly align with his words is rare. And when his actions are consistent, even in hard times, you'll know you've touched a part of him he doesn't give to just anyone. Sometimes, the most powerful thing he does is simply show up for you. Whether it's a tough day at work, a family crisis, or a moment where you're doubting yourself, his presence alone will speak volumes. That consistency shows you that you're not just important to him, you're essential. When a man sees you as his weakness, he becomes intentional with his time. He's not just casually spending time with you, he's investing it. He knows that every moment with you matters. This is why he puts effort into planning dates, remembering important moments, and showing you through action that you're irreplaceable. Sometimes his actions will show you his feelings before he even realizes them himself. He might catch himself doing things for you that he's never done for anyone else, and that's when you'll know his heart has been captured. This type of love doesn't need an audience. He doesn't have to post about you every day or make grand announcements to the world. His actions will quietly build a foundation of trust, security, and devotion that speaks louder than any declaration could. When challenges come, watch how he behaves. Does he fight for you, or does he fade away? A man whose actions are rooted in love will never retreat when things get hard. Instead, he'll step up even stronger, showing you that you're worth every effort. Even in disagreements, he'll choose to protect the bond over his pride. He may not always be perfect, no man is, but he will consistently show you through his actions that you matter more to him than being right. A man's actions reveal his priorities. If he's constantly proving through what he does that you are important, that is a clear sign you are his weakness. He doesn't have to say it. You'll feel it every single day. And here's the thing. When you're truly his weakness, his actions will not just show love, they will inspire you to love him back even deeper. He protects you even when you're not around. One of the clearest signs that you are a man's weakness is his natural instinct to protect you, even when you're not in the room. This isn't just about physical protection. It's about guarding your name, your dignity, and your heart. When he sees you as his weakness, he becomes your shield against negativity and harm. When someone speaks negatively about you, he won't sit in silence. He will speak up, defend you, and make it clear that disrespect toward you will not be tolerated. This is because his love for you runs deep, and he understands that protecting you is part of cherishing you. You may not even know the battles he fights on your behalf. There will be times when he chooses to handle things quietly, so you don't carry the weight of unnecessary drama or stress. That silent protection is a powerful act of love because it shows he prioritizes your peace of mind. True protection goes beyond defending your reputation. It's also about emotional safety. When you're his weakness, he will create a space where you feel safe to be yourself, a place where you can be vulnerable without fear of judgment. He won't allow others to mistreat you, but more importantly, he won't mistreat you himself. Even in anger, even in disagreement, he will choose respect over cruelty. That's the mark of a man who sees you as irreplaceable. This type of protection often shows up in subtle ways. Maybe he walks on the side of the street closest to traffic. Maybe he checks in to make sure you got home safely. Maybe he stands a little taller and stronger when he senses someone might disrespect you. Those little acts reveal a big truth. He's wired to guard you. When he's not around you, he still thinks about your well-being. He'll call to make sure you ate, text to see how your day is going, or remind you to take care of yourself. Those gestures aren't just routine, they're proof that you are deeply embedded in his heart. When a man sees you as his weakness, protecting you becomes second nature. He doesn't see it as a burden or responsibility. He sees it as an honor. It gives him joy to know he's keeping you safe, even in ways you'll never know about. This protection also shows up in how he handles other women. When you're his weakness, there's no room for disrespect. He sets boundaries and makes it clear that his heart belongs to you. The strongest kind of protection is spiritual. A man who truly loves you will pray for you, even when you don't hear it. He'll ask for your safety, your peace, and your happiness because your well-being matters to him more than his own. Sometimes the proof that you're his weakness comes when you face life's storms. Watch how he shows up in those moments. A man who loves you deeply will become your rock when everything around you feels shaky. He doesn't just protect you when it's easy or convenient. He protects you when it costs him something, when he has to take a stand, make sacrifices, or risk being misunderstood. That's how you know his feelings are genuine. Protection is love in action. A man who consistently guards your heart, your name, and your peace of mind is silently telling you, "You are my greatest treasure." And even though he may never say it outright, every protective act he makes is his way of admitting you are his greatest weakness. He makes sacrifices without complaining. When a man truly loves you and sees you as his weakness, you'll notice it by what he's willing to give up and how quietly he does it. Real love is revealed through sacrifice, not the kind of sacrifice where he reminds you of what he did for you every 5 minutes, but the kind where he quietly changes his life to make yours better. He may cancel plans with his friends because he knows you've had a tough day and need his company. He may spend his last bit of energy helping you, even after working a long day himself. These sacrifices don't come from obligation, they come from love. When you're his weakness, he would rather go without than see you lack something. Many men can provide when it's easy, but the true test comes when it costs them something meaningful. Maybe he gives up a hobby he loves so he can spend more time building your future together. Maybe he lets go of old habits or toxic people because he knows they don't fit into the life he wants to build with you. That's not just sacrifice, that's transformation. When he truly sees you as his weakness, he won't make you beg for his time, effort, or attention. He gives it freely because he understands that loving you requires investment. His sacrifices are his way of showing that you are worth more than his comfort zone. Pay attention to the small, everyday sacrifices. He might drive across town just to bring you something you mentioned craving. He might stay up late helping you with a project even When he has to wake up early the next morning, these gestures may seem small, but they reveal a heart that is willing to be inconvenienced for your happiness. The most beautiful part, he doesn't complain. He doesn't keep a tally of everything he's done for you. When you're his weakness, he gives without expecting anything in return. His reward is simply seeing you smile, seeing you safe, and knowing that he's made your life a little easier. Sometimes his sacrifices will be invisible to you. You may never know about the opportunities he turned down or the difficult decisions he made just to ensure your relationship stays strong. He won't brag about it because he doesn't need recognition. His love is genuine. When a man sacrifices for you, it doesn't mean he's losing himself. It means he's prioritizing what matters most. A good man knows that sometimes you have to let go of certain things to make room for something greater, and to him, you are that greater thing. This type of love isn't always dramatic or loud. It often shows up in the quiet choices he makes every single day, like working extra hours so he can provide for a dream you both share, like choosing to be patient and understanding when you're upset instead of reacting in anger. These are sacrifices of the heart. Sacrifice also comes with protection. He will shield you from struggles whenever he can, taking on burdens so you don't have to. He'll carry weight on his shoulders without telling you, simply because he can't stand to see you hurting. You'll know you're his weakness when he gives up things he once thought were non-negotiable. Maybe he never planned to settle down, but for you, he's ready to build a home. Maybe he was stubborn about his independence, but now he welcomes partnership. Love has a way of shifting priorities. Sometimes he sacrifices his pride. That's a big one. He will humble himself, apologize when necessary, and choose love over ego. That kind of selflessness only happens when his feelings for you run deep. Sacrifice isn't just about giving things up. It's about giving more of himself. His time, his energy, his dreams, he's willing to pour them into the relationship because he sees you as his greatest blessing. And though he may never put it into words, every silent sacrifice he makes is his way of saying, "You are my heart, my peace, and my weakness." He shows vulnerability only to you. Men are taught to be strong, to hide their feelings, to never show weakness. But when a man meets the one woman who truly captures his heart, something changes. His walls start to come down. He may not be vulnerable with the world, but with you, he finds safety in letting his guard down. You'll notice that he shares parts of himself that no one else gets to see. His fears, his insecurities, his past mistakes he opens up because he trusts you. That trust is a powerful sign that you're his weakness. Vulnerability doesn't always look like tears or dramatic conversations. Sometimes it's simply him being honest about his dreams, his struggles, and his hopes for the future. When he allows you to see his unpolished truth, it means you've reached a part of his heart that most people will never access. He may come to you for comfort when he's going through something heavy. This doesn't mean he's weak, it means he's strong enough to trust you with his pain. A man who hides his struggles from everyone else but comes to you is showing that you are his safe place. You'll notice that he seeks your advice, not because he can't handle life on his own, but because he values your perspective. He respects your mind and knows that you see him clearly, flaws and all, and love him anyway. Sometimes his vulnerability will show in the way he admits when he's wrong. That takes strength. For many men, apologizing feels like defeat. But when you're his weakness, he's willing to humble himself to protect the relationship. Vulnerability also shows in his laughter. When a man truly feels safe, he laughs freely around you. He lets his playful side out, knowing that he doesn't have to be perfect to be loved. That freedom comes from deep emotional connection. You'll know you're his weakness when he shares his biggest dreams with you. These aren't just surface-level goals, they're the things he's been afraid to tell anyone else for fear of judgment or failure. By telling you, he's saying, "I trust you with the deepest parts of me." He may also share his past hurts. The stories he's kept locked away, the ones that shaped him into who he is, will come pouring out because he knows you won't weaponize his vulnerability. When a man feels safe enough to show his emotional scars, that's when you know his love for you is real. He's not just letting you into his life, he's letting you into his soul. Even in moments of silence, vulnerability is present. Maybe he rests his head in your lap after a long day, saying nothing, but feeling completely at peace. That unspoken trust is powerful. A man will only let his guard down with someone he knows will protect his heart. If he shares his fears, his tears, and his truths with you, it's because you've become his greatest weakness. This level of vulnerability isn't a sign of frailty. It's a sign of courage. It takes strength to be real, and when he chooses to be real with you, it's the ultimate expression of love. And while he may never say the words, every moment of openness is his silent confession. You're the only one who truly sees me. He prioritizes your happiness over his ego. One of the strongest signs that you are a man's weakness is when he chooses your happiness over his pride. Ego is powerful, especially for a man. It drives him to win arguments, to always be right, and to protect his image at all costs. But when a man loves you deeply, he will put his ego aside because your peace matters more than proving a point. You'll notice this most clearly during disagreements. Instead of escalating an argument just to be the one who wins, he will choose understanding. He may not always say the perfect words, but his actions will show that he values the relationship more than his need to be right. That is a rare and beautiful form of love. When you're hit weakness, he becomes mindful of how his words affect you. He doesn't speak carelessly, even when he's upset, because he knows one harsh statement can hurt your heart. His love pushes him to control his anger, even when pride tempts him to lash out. Sometimes, prioritizing your happiness means apologizing even when he doesn't think he's entirely wrong. It's not about him feeling defeated. It's about him wanting to restore harmony. That apology isn't weakness. It's strength disguised as humility. When a man loves you this way, he will make decisions with your happiness in mind. He will consider how his choices affect you. This isn't about him losing his independence. It's about him understanding that love is a partnership. Even in public, you'll notice he supports you instead of competing with you. Some men feel threatened by a strong, successful woman, but when you're his weakness, he celebrates your victories as if they were his own. Your joy becomes his joy. This also shows up in how he handles your dreams. He doesn't dismiss your ambitions or belittle your passions. Instead, he encourages you to chase them, even if it means making sacrifices on his end. That's what it means to put someone's happiness first. When a man prioritizes you, he truly listens. He doesn't just hear your words, he pays attention to your heart. He remembers the little things you mention in passing because he genuinely wants to make you feel understood and valued. Your happiness also matters to him when it comes to your emotional well-being. If he notices something is bothering you, he won't ignore it. He will take the time to sit with you, comfort you, and help you navigate through the pain. Choosing your happiness over his ego also means protecting the relationship from outsiders. If someone disrespects you or the bond you share, he will address it firmly, not because of pride, but because he knows love requires protection. Sometimes this means standing up for you even when it's uncomfortable. He's willing to have hard conversations with friends, family, or anyone who threatens your peace because he refuses to let negativity damage what you've built together. When you're his weakness, he's willing to bend without breaking. He will compromise, make adjustments, and grow as a person because he knows love isn't about control, it's about connection. Your happiness becomes his motivation. Seeing you smile, seeing you at peace, seeing you thrive, these things fuel him. And while he may not always say it directly, his actions will make it clear that you are his top priority. This is the ultimate sign of deep love. A man who can't put his ego aside for you isn't just showing affection, he's showing devotion. And in that devotion, you'll find undeniable proof that you are his greatest weakness. He fights for the relationship, not just in it. There's a difference between being in a relationship and fighting for one. Many People can show up when things are easy, but only someone who truly loves you will stay and fight when challenges arise. When you're his weakness, he won't just love you in good times. He'll protect and nurture the relationship through the storms. When conflict arises, he doesn't run. He doesn't give you the silent treatment or shut you out. Instead, he leans in and works through the problem. He understands that love is built through effort, and he's willing to do the hard work because you mean that much to him. You'll notice that he takes responsibility for his role in challenges. Instead of blaming you or making excuses, he reflects on his actions and works to improve. That kind of accountability comes from deep love and respect. Fighting for the relationship also means being consistent. He doesn't just fight when he feels like it or when he's afraid of losing you. His commitment shows up daily in the way he communicates, supports you, and keeps building the foundation of trust. When you're his weakness, he won't give up easily. Even when others tell him to move on or when life circumstances make things complicated, he will hold on because he knows your connection is rare. You'll see his fight in the way he protects the relationship from external drama. Whether it's family interference, work stress, or other distractions, he sets boundaries to keep your bond strong. Sometimes fighting for love means being patient. He won't pressure you or rush the process. Instead, he will give you the space to grow while still being present and supportive. That balance is a sign of emotional maturity. He also invests in the future of the relationship. Whether it's planning for the next step or working on personal growth, he's always thinking about how to make your love stronger. Even during disagreements, he fights for the connection, not against you. He doesn't see you as the enemy. The problem is the enemy, and he works with you to defeat it. This kind of fight isn't loud or destructive. It's steady and intentional. It's seen in late-night conversations, honest apologies, and the willingness to keep choosing each other every single day. When challenges come, and they always do, he becomes more protective, not less. His love deepens in the struggle because he understands that true commitment is proven in hard times. He'll also make sacrifices to keep the relationship healthy, whether that means changing certain habits, letting go of toxic influences, or stepping up in areas where he's fallen short. He's willing to evolve for the sake of love. A man who fights for the relationship shows you that you are irreplaceable to him. Losing you isn't an option, so he keeps showing up, no matter how tough things get. This doesn't mean he'll always be perfect. He will make mistakes, but the difference is, he'll fight to make things right instead of walking away. When you see a man fighting consistently, fiercely, and humbly for your relationship, you can be certain of one thing: you've touched his heart so deeply that you've become his greatest weakness. He can't stay away no matter the distance. When a man sees you as his weakness, he will always find his way back to you. It doesn't matter how far he travels, how busy life gets, or how many obstacles stand in the way. His heart will pull him toward you like a magnet. Even if work, family, or responsibilities demand his time, he will make space for you. You'll notice that no matter what, he checks in. A text, a call, a surprise visit. He'll do whatever it takes to remind you that you're always on his mind. Distance can be physical or emotional. Sometimes life creates gaps between people, but when you're his weakness, he won't let those gaps grow too wide. He'll bridge them with effort, consistency, and presence. When he's away, he'll miss you deeply, not just in a surface-level way, but in a way that drives him to action. Missing you won't just be a feeling, it will be a motivation for him to come back to you sooner. You'll notice he doesn't go silent for long periods. Even if he can't physically be there, he will find ways to make you feel his love across any distance. That kind of persistence is a sign of deep emotional connection. When you're apart, he will still include you in his daily life. He'll share moments with you, whether through photos, conversations, or stories, because he wants you to feel close even when you're far away. His actions will show that you're his priority. While other men may get distracted or lose focus, he stays consistent. That consistency is proof that his feelings aren't temporary. Distance often tests love, but for a man who truly sees you as his weakness, it only strengthens his commitment. The separation reminds him of how much you mean to him and motivates him to fight harder for the relationship. Even when misunderstandings arise, he won't disappear. Instead, he'll work to close the emotional distance by communicating openly and honestly. His return is never casual. When he comes back to you, it's with intention. Whether it's after a busy week or a tough season, his presence will reassure you that no distance can break what you share. Sometimes life will test you both with challenges that create physical or emotional space. But you'll know he's yours when he chooses you every single time, no matter how hard the path back may be. He won't just come back for comfort, he'll come back to grow. Each time, he'll return with more understanding, more love, and more determination to make things work. When you're his weakness, being apart isn't just difficult for him, it's almost unbearable. That longing drives him to stay connected, proving that his love runs deep. And while he may not say it outright, his consistent return speaks louder than words. No matter where I go, I'll always come back to you. His future plans always include you. When a man truly loves you and sees you as his weakness, you'll see it in the way he talks about the future. His plans won't just be about himself, they'll be about you and both of you together. Pay attention to his language. When he says we instead of I, it's a sign that he sees you as a permanent part of his life. He's not just thinking about the next few weeks or months. He's envisioning years, milestones, and dreams that you will share. You'll notice this in the small things first. Maybe he mentions a trip he wants to take someday and includes you in that vision. Or perhaps he talks about where he wants to live, what kind of home he wants to build, and you're always part of that picture. A man who sees you as his weakness will also consider your dreams. He won't just plan around his goals. He'll make space for yours, blending both visions to create a shared future. Even when discussing career decisions or big life moves, he will factor you into the equation. This isn't about him seeking permission, it's about him valuing your presence in his life enough to plan accordingly. Sometimes, his future plans will involve growth for the relationship. Maybe he talks about marriage, family, or building a legacy together. These aren't just fantasies, they're reflections of his deep commitment. You'll notice he prepares for the future through his actions. It's not just about talking, it's about building. Whether he's saving money, improving himself, or setting long-term goals, he's doing it with you in mind. A man who includes you in his future will also introduce you to the important people in his life. Family, close friends, mentors. He wants everyone to know you because you're not just a chapter in his story, you're the whole book. When challenges arise, he won't let them derail his vision. Instead, he'll work with you to overcome obstacles because he sees the relationship as something worth protecting. This kind of planning is a form of love in action. It shows that he's not just present in the moment, he's committed to building something lasting. Sometimes he'll even surprise you with plans you didn't expect. A spontaneous weekend getaway, a thoughtful gesture for your shared dream, or a step forward in the relationship that proves his intentions are serious. Including you in his future doesn't mean he'll always have everything figured out. Life is unpredictable, but his consistent effort to plan with you in mind shows where his heart truly lies. When a man's vision for tomorrow always has you in it, that's when you know you're not just part of his present, you're his destiny. And even if he never says the exact words, his plans are his confession. You are my home, my heart, and my greatest weakness. He can't say ye, but these 6 signs prove you're his weakness. When a man loves you deeply, he may never find the perfect words to express it. Some men struggle to say, you're my everything, or I can't live without you. But love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, and shown through actions that speak volumes. Throughout this journey, you've seen that his love isn't in what he says, but in what he consistently does. When his actions speak louder than his words, you know his heart is invested. When he protects you, even when you're not around, it shows he values you more than anyone else's opinion. When he sacrifices without complaining, it reveals you are worth every ounce of effort. His vulnerability proves that you're his safe space, the one person who sees him without his armor. And when he chooses your happiness over his ego, it shows he's willing to grow, to bend, and to become a better man for the sake of love. When he fights for the relationship, not just in it, you'll feel his unwavering commitment. When he can't stay away no matter the distance, you'll know his heart belongs to you completely, and when his future plans always include you, that's when you'll understand you're not just part of his life, you are his life. Here's the truth. A man doesn't have to say you're his weakness for you to know it. Love reveals itself through consistent care, unwavering loyalty, and the willingness to show up day after day, no matter the circumstances. So, if you see these signs, don't doubt his heart just because his lips stay silent. Some of the strongest love stories are written in unspoken words and undeniable actions. When a man gives you his actions, his protection, his sacrifices, his vulnerability, his humility, his fight, his loyalty, and his vision for the future, you don't need to hear him say it. You'll feel it in every moment you share with him. And when you feel it, hold it close, because being a man's greatest weakness isn't a burden, it's a blessing. It's proof that your presence in his life has transformed him, inspired him, and given him a love so deep that words alone could never capture it. Remember, love isn't always spoken, but when it's real, you will always know.